I adore the first Psychonauts, and it pains me whenever I think about the fact that nobody played it. But 16 years later, and we finally have a sequel. Does it live up? Do I possibly adore it more than the first game, or is it a huge letdown and an example of a long-delayed sequel just not being that good? Well, let's talk about it. Hi guys, DPX here, reviewing today Psychonauts 2. Written by Tim Schafer, developed by Double Fine, and published by Xbox Game Studios, and is on Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, PS5, and PC. I played it on PS4 though. Anyways, before we get started, you know what to do. Like this video, subscribe, hit the bell, and leave a comment, or I'll enter your mind and do some pretty fucked up shit in there.
Hey, look at that giant Ford head. I wonder if there's any brains in there.
Psychonauts 2 is a 3D platformer, something of which we rarely get nowadays, but since the first one was a 3D platformer, and although that's kind of what made it fly under the radar as it came out during the dying days of 3D platformers, I love that this game didn't feel the need to change much in terms of its, identity. I've heard some complaints about this game feeling just a little primitive at times, but honestly, with the exception of just a few, and I mean a very select itty-bitty few times that I remember noticing, but I honestly can't even tell you right now, because I don't remember, where some 3D platformer bullshit occurred, it doesn't feel primitive at all. You control so smoothly, your jumps don't feel clunky, and the combat is a nice balance between precision and challenging, but also fun and doable. There are also many abilities you have at your disposal, whether it's pyrokinesis, telekinesis, levitation, mental connection, slowing down time, or whatever. You have many cool abilities that help progress through the game in their own unique little ways. And some even have multiple uses, like levitation, for example, helps you make certain jumps that a simple double jump wouldn't help with, but can also even act as running in the game, which is cool. Psychonauts 2 is a smooth, precise, balanced, fun game to play.
What are you doing, weirdo?
Try not to fall asleep in my class. Alright, Rapscallion.
One reason I really like the first Psychonauts is because of the story and how unique of a concept it is. You go inside the minds of other characters, like your camp counselor, and the level designs and whatnot are structured around sort of the interests, hobbies, or thoughts of the minds of the characters you enter. And Psychonauts 2 expands on that concept in a great way by also exploring the mental state of many characters. Although it's been 16 years since the first game came out, Psychonauts 2 takes place right where the first one left off, where our main character Raz, along with Sasha and Mia, have a mission to rescue Truman Zanotto. After that, Raz is now a part of the Psychonauts intern program, but learns that it's not as good as it may seem. That's as far as I'll go when it comes to the plot, but similar to the first game, I was getting some serious late 90s and early 2000s Nickelodeon vibes from this game, and that's not a bad thing. Raz is a very likable and even relatable protagonist, and I'm just gonna say now that Raz is probably one of the most underrated video game protagonists of all time. Not to mention, the game also explores some very mature themes like mental health, trauma, empathy, etc. And I feel it succeeded with what it was trying to say. Not to mention, the charm of the first game is amplified to 1,000 in this game. And one reason is because of the characters. These characters are just so damn charming, even down to the designs. As you look at every single character, and before they even speak or do anything, you know what they are all about. And I love the names too. This is no different from the first game, but still, names like Agent Foresight or Audio for example, I feel are pretty clever. And that's what this game is. Clever.
Agent Cruller, I need to talk to you.
Sorry, senior league hours.
Now this is the segment for other stuff. Stuff that I think is worth mentioning, but I don't think they deserve their own little segments. First off, the music is really good. Nothing too crazy as, well, as much as I love the first Psychonauts, the game's soundtrack wasn't anything groundbreaking either, but still a solid soundtrack, just like this one. And hey, Jack Black even performs a song, which, okay. And the game looks super crisp. I played on a PS4, so it didn't look or always seem to run the best, but it was still fine on a technical standpoint, and I'm sure that this won't even be a minor issue on the Xbox Series, PS5, or a high-end PC. Similarly, on PS4, the game can take a scary amount of time to load, but again, this probably isn't an issue on the next-gen consoles. Those weren't even real issues as they didn't bother me all too much. There was one thing that did bother me though in this game, and thankfully I loved probably every other part of this game, so this doesn't kill it for me, but the cooking show that takes place in Compton's mind kinda overstayed its welcome for me personally, and the boss fight with the judges actually pissed me the fuck off. I don't even want to say how long it took me to beat that boss, but that was really the only major complaint I had with this game, and since pretty much every other aspect ranges from being good to fucking amazing, I honestly forgot just how much that part pissed me off until I started writing this review.
You see, a male just doesn't matter.
In conclusion, Psychonauts 2 is a fucking stellar sequel to a game that not only came out 16 years ago, but nobody played it when it did come out, so this game manages to stay relevant despite that. Whether it's the themes it explores, the story, the characters, or just the overall feel of the game, Psychonauts 2 is an improvement upon the already superb predecessor. In conclusion, Psychonauts 2 is a hard game to score. For me personally, I'm kind of struggling to come up with a score for this game as I really want to give it a 10 out of 10 so badly, but if I felt the need to mention a flaw, I'm not so sure. Nothing is perfect, but I feel like in a review, if I want to mention flaws, they either have to be very minor or just not even worth mentioning. Also, it's not just this game, as I'm not so sure if it feels right giving out a 10 out of 10 for anything unless I am super duper confident in doing so. This is sort of a cop-out, but I'm giving it a 10 out of 10 sort of, you know, in spirit, I guess, but you can come up with your own score when you gather everything I've said in this review. I've never done this in a review where I kinda didn't give it a score, and I probably will never do it again as I really didn't want to have this sort of cop-out here. But if Psychonauts is one of my favorite games, and I think Psychonauts 2 is an improvement, I kinda can't give it anything lower than a 10. So, final verdict, I guess 10 out of 10 for me, but gather what you say and come up with your own score. Maybe it contradicts what I gave it. Psychonauts 2 though is an absolute masterpiece, and you all should play this game. Don't let what happened to the first game happen to this, especially since, you know, this game being digital only ain't doing it any favors. Although it is an Xbox game that is not only on Game Pass but is also multi-plat. So unless you have a Switch, which I guess you just don't get this game, don't sleep on this one, because you can definitely get it, and you should. Anyways, that was my review for Psychonauts 2. Can you tell I really liked it? It's probably my game of the year so far, although, to be fair, this year has been a little slow for games. But anyways, I want to know what you think. Did you play this game? Did you like it? Did you not like it? And if you didn't play this game, do you want to? Do you not want to? Anything about the game, let me know down below. Anyways, be sure to like this video, come subscribe, and at the time of recording this, I actually just got No More Heroes 3. So, I'm jumping right into another game after I'm done with this review. Anyways, see you guys, because I'll have a review for that coming soon. Bye!